any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on all the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit. There is no profit under the sun. He says, I had all these things. I had basically, literally, anything money to buy. He had more money, more wealth, more toys than we could ever have. He was probably, at least at that point, he was one of the richest people in the world. And he could literally buy any pleasure that money could buy. And he says, I built these great houses, I bought all these things, all these musical guys, I paid them to come and play for me, and all this stuff that would seem pleasurable, that would seem like I would love it. I had all of it. And then I had it for all this time, and it didn't satisfy me. It wasn't enough. It wasn't satisfying. And he says the pursuit of all those things, all those pleasures, all that wealth was empty. And I kind of thought about this in how we live today. And I think it's really true in America today. Especially if you watch the news now. With the whole economy going bad, people mad about losing money and all that stuff. How did that whole thing start? It started when credit on houses went bad. And I worked moving people for 4 or 5 years after I finished high school. I was in college. And at least where I lived, it was right in the middle, right when that was peaking. The first couple of years, the house prices were still going up and up. And then the last couple of years I worked there was when they started to go down a little bit. And basically what had happened was all these people wanted to buy houses, and a lot of them bought houses that they couldn't afford. And to be honest, I saw some big houses that people moved into. And just in the course of moving in, you talk to them about what they do, where they work, whatever. I said, wow, I didn't know that you could work at McDonald's and own this huge 5-bedroom house. How'd you do that? But the point is, all these people, all they wanted was a huge house, or a TV, or a car, or trucks, iPods, computer, whatever it is. They get so caught up in buying all these things, all these toys, all these pleasures, and really they couldn't afford them. And now, basically, when people had to pay for their houses, their mortgages fell apart, and there's no more credit. I saw a comment the other day. There's an alchemist, one of those guys that tries to take like lead or some other like metal that's not very valuable and change it and try to change it into gold. I don't think people do that very often anymore, but they used to try to do that anyways. And in this comic, the guy says, I finally figured out how to turn lead back into gold. And then I invested it, and the guy I invested with said it all turned back into lead. So I don't have any money anyway. And I thought about what Solomon said in Ecclesiastes compared to what's going on now. How many people in our world are just pursuing pleasures or money, or they think, well, if I buy that bigger house, then I'll be happy. Or if I buy that car, I'll be happy. I'm not saying those things are bad. God may give them to us as a gift, but we can't be pursuing them. Because if we focus on those things, and if we get to the end of our life, even if we bought this huge house that we can afford, even if we have however many cars, a Hummer or a Mustang, whatever we have, there's no one that would buy if I could buy whatever car I wanted. But whatever we have, we can go on vacation wherever we want. Even if we do all those things, what good does it do when we get to the end of our lives? We can get so caught up in owning all these things. But Solomon, someone who had more money than we'll ever had, said it's empty. During the campus shootout last semester, Rita was here visiting then too. I knew she was coming that time. I didn't do this. But anyways, we thought we had left something up at the shooting range when we were down at the campground, so we took Trav's car back up there, and we went out to find it. And that was before the election, and Trav had a John McCain sign in the back of his window. And while we were there, we were just getting in the car to come back down. This guy drove up to do some shooting, and he saw Trav's sign, and I think he thought it was our car, but he didn't really like it. So he got out and started telling us who he thought we should vote for. And all these things about how he thought that President Bush had messed up the economy and had done all these bad things. He was complaining about all this money that he had lost, saying, I have all this money set aside my retirement, set aside in savings, and now it's all gone, and so you need to vote for this guy, because then he'll help the economy and we'll get our money back. Well, when he was saying that, he was saying to vote for President Obama, and he said, well, a lot of people are worried about, if he gets elected, he'll take our guns away. And in the course of the conversation, he said, well, I have $15,000 of guns at home, and I'm not worried about getting them taken away. I'm not worried about losing them. And his point was, we should vote for President Obama. Well, when he said that, my thought was, wow, I like guns. I have a couple, but I don't have $15,000 worth of them. You're complaining about how much money you've lost when you spent $15,000 on guns. And I don't know, but I would assume that's not all that he would spend money on. I'm sure he was spending money on other things. It's like, well, do you want the economy to come up to buy another $5,000 worth of guns? What good is that? When is enough money enough money? When is enough toys enough toys? And I say that so we can get so consumed in the things that we want to own or the things that we want to buy that we get distracted from God, that we turn away from God. And we can get so caught up in the things of this world that we lose focus on God. And Solomon said this in Ecclesiastes 5:10. He said, he that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. He says basically, if you love silver, if you love money, if you love making all these things, when are you going to be satisfied? If you say, well, and he says, he that loveth abundance with increase. When somebody loves that, they never stop. And basically, if you get too caught up in it, there's never enough. You just kind of say, well, okay, if you think, well, if I had $500,000 in the bank, I'd be happy. Well, Solomon says, no. When you get there, you want $1 million in the bank. And if you keep going, if you keep earning more, when you get there, you want $2 million. And Solomon was actually speaking from experience, because that's the mistake that he had made. That's what he had done. And I'm not condemning knowledge or riches or pleasure or anything like that. If God gives them to us, it's a wonderful gift. And we should appreciate them and thank God for them. But if we pursue them apart from God, then we'll find them empty. We'll get to the end of our lives and realize that they don't really matter. I really like baseball. And I had the enjoyment last year of, for the first time in my lifetime, the Phillies winning the World Series. And I was really excited. We had a party in my room the night they won. The lady downstairs called and asked if we were okay because we were making too much noise. But we were happy, we were celebrating it. And I thought about it. After the Phillies won, they had a parade in Philadelphia, a championship parade. A couple million people come out to that parade to see it. And the Phillies, they got to the top, the championship, the top level of what they do. In baseball, what are you trying to do? You're trying to win the World Series because you're the best team. They got to the top of where they could get to. And then a week ago, we just started a new season. There's a new baseball season going on. And it's like, so what? Okay, you guys won last year. Well, you still have to complain now. You still have to be doing something different. And nobody really cares that you won last year because now everybody's trying to win again.